that is why we are here. Keep watching Newspunch from Ben Television. Yeah. Yes. Thank you for joining us on the program, and the program is Newspunch, coming to you live from Ben Television. My name is Tunde Alebi. Thank you for being part of the program today. Today, June 12th, exactly about 25 years ago, in Nigeria, Nigeria had the freest and the fairest election held ever in its history. A lot of secrets were revealed in the course of that election, that Nigeria indeed could hold an election that is free, an election that is fair, and that indeed Nigerians are very passionate about a very free and fair election. And that election also revealed another thing. It had always been the opinion and the belief that, well, there are more voters in the northern part of Nigeria than in the southwest. But the election of 1993, June 12, revealed that more people in the entire south voted than they had in the whole of the north. That's another secret that the June 12 election revealed. However, because of the result of the election won by the then SDP candidate Moshood Abiola Kashimawo was not acceptable to certain powers in the north, that election was annulled. General Muhammadu Buhari, at the time, who was the sitting head of state, did not officially declare that election, citing different reasons, plus including that election being not acceptable and free to Nigerians. 25 years after that election, today, the current government under President Muhammadu Buhari has declared June 12 for the first time after that incident 25 years ago, June 12, the day that election was held, about 25 years ago, as the official Democracy Day in Nigeria, moving in from May 29, when Nigeria actually moved from military dictatorship to a civilian government. So no more May 29, it's going to be June 12. That is not the issue. That is not the main issue. The main issue now is the conferment of the highest honors in the land in Nigeria on late Chief Moshood Abiola Kashimawo, the honor of the GCFR, which is the highest honors in the land, normally reserved for president, and GCON for the vice president, and of course another national honor for legal luminary Gani Fawemi. On the program today, there have been a lot of issues around the honors that were given out. Very many people have actually criticized the government, and very many people have actually commended the government. Joining me in the studio today, we'll be looking at both the legal and the socially moral veracity of the actions that have been taken by President Muhammadu Buhari today, as he conferred on, in absentia, Moshood Abiola the national honor of GCFR, normally reserved for president. But having said that, the result of that election has not been confirmed, and no government up to today has ever accepted that election as held in Nigeria on 12th of June 1993. Joining me in the studio today to look at this June 12th debacle and, of course, the national honors, first, by my immediate left, is Barrister Sympathy Nwosu, legal luminary here in the United Kingdom, and senior partner at Callice's solicitors based here in the United Kingdom, London, and also a politician, currently a presidential candidate under the People's Democratic Party, PDP. Barrister Sympathy Nwosu, thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you, thank you.
And I'm also joined by one of our colleagues and friends here, Lagun Akinloye. Lagun Akinloye is a journalist and is also a commentator, political and social analyst. Lagun, thank you for joining us on the program today. And all the way from Kent, the University of Kent, a law lecturer, Dr. Benga Oduto, join us on the program today. Dr. thank you for joining us on the program.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, great. So today on the show, we'll be taking a look at what I said earlier on, the issue around June 12th. Barrister, let me start with you. 25 years down the lane,
Yes.
for the first time in the history of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari acknowledged that, in fact, while he was conferring the honors, apologized on behalf of the federal government that something was wrong and something was not right. So in trying to right the wrong, he conferred the highest honors on the land on Moshood Abiola in absentia, deceased by members of his family. But very many people have criticized him, many have commended him. What are your views?
Thank you very much, Tunde. I commend in totality the brave step taken by the President, Muhammadu Buhari. This honor is meritorious, is overdue. Abiola, to me, epitomizes democracy, the doing of democracy, modern democracy in Nigeria. And this honor conferred in him is meritorious, is a well-deserved honor. I've had a few criticisms about it. I don't see why there should be. The fact remains that Abiola was the presumed winner of the 1993 election, which was cancelled or nullified, or which the then military juntas refused to announce the result. Today, one can infer that one of the military generals then have seen what you and I haven't seen, have seen the reality, have seen the truth, being privy to certain documents and information that you and I do not have. And yes, Abiola really won the election. Nigerians can go back to that and sleep and say, yes, Moshood Abiola,
the government has not, no government up to today, even including the government of President Muhammadu Buhari, has not accepted that Abiola won that election because no government has declared that election won or valid. They only conferred honors on Abiola. But because these are two different issues.
You can infer that this honor is only meant for presidents. You don't confer it to any other person apart from presidents. That's what the Constitution says. So for them to have conferred it to Abiola, a presumed winner of the presidential election on the 12th of June, 1993, a person in position as Buhari is,
so you're saying,
may have seen information and concluded that yes, he really won that election.
Even though the government has not categorically declared,
that's why I use the word you can infer. One can infer.
So we assume that the president
if
is
not,
indirectly inferring that Abiola was a president.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. That's all right. Lagu, from your view.
From my point of view, I think that the June 12th proclamation and by the arms of President Muhammadu Buhari, there are many great points to it. We all know how charged our people are on the June 12th issue. We hear about the numerous people who laid their lives on the line, who perished in the struggle, who fought for the freedom of democracy in Nigeria. So this is one of the most deepest issues, maybe alongside the fight for independence from Britain. But we must also look at things from a candid and impartial opinion and point of view. Are you giving the man a posthumous honor because you want to win political points for elections moving forward? Or are you memorializing and remembering a man for the struggle for democracy? Those are the 2 points that I think that sometimes...
Or, as President Wosu inferred, that the government is indirectly acknowledging. Because 3 issues you have raised there. Is this politically motivated? Is this honoring this man for the struggle? Or is the government indirectly accepting that he won this election? Which one is the government doing?
If it is an indirect approach, then from my point of view, I will not take it. Because we as Nigerians must learn to be direct. You want to give a man a national honor when he's not here, but yet you haven't told the people who have been asking since the annulment, what is the reason behind it? Who are those behind it? And what are the official results? So you want to give somebody 1/3 of a gift and say, take it. And we're meant to jubilate, dance, and be happy. Frankly, if it is a indirect meaning to tell us what has happened, on my part, there is still much more to go in this issue, in this road. Because we as Nigerians have been denied our right to actually know what really happened on June 12th. What really happened to the freest and fairest elections Nigeria has ever witnessed. June 12th, of course, it should have been called Democracy Day from the beginning. Now we are celebrating what I would call a partial win. We should be happy because you are right. It is recognizing a day that will live in infamy and in history. But at the same time, there is still a long way to go in terms of actually giving information to our people about what truly happened.
So in your view, you think the government...
I think that the government itself...
it's not genuinely or genuine.
Sadly, us as Nigerians, we've become to accept mediocrity and small gifts. This, to me, is an obvious small gift to make us jubilate for half an hour so that they can carry on doing their agenda. That's my opinion.
Okay, all right. Doctor, I mean, from your view as a law lecturer, can the government indirectly infer, without making official the result of the election, won by Chief M.K. Abiola and by SDP, without making a formal proclamation as to the presidential nature of Chief Moshood Abiola following that election? Can the government now make us to believe that he deserves this highest honor normally reserved for president, without without connecting these two important points that are supposed to be fundamental to this national honor?
Okay, thank you very much for the question. And I would like to say that it seems every Nigerian is born with a law degree along with the incidence of his birth. We worry too much a bit about the legality of things for a country that struggles with legalism generally. The substantive issue is that we had a national trauma. We had an election that a lot of people have judged the freest and fairest, even by official accounts. And for various political reasons, there hasn't been enough recognition of this, the victory of the gentleman who, in any case, even went ahead to lose his life, along with a lot of other Nigerians in trying to actualize and get the annulment removed. So having gone together through this national trauma, I think it's a big waste of the moment to bother too much about the nuts and bolts of things, which actually are quite in the favor of the president, because I've gone ahead to check the National Honors Act, and I've found out that everything the president has done is perfectly in order, according to the law. A lot of funny people, and I wouldn't hesitate to mention Senator Dino Melaye, have come up with issues such as it can only be awarded to a living Nigerian. There's no such thing in the National Honors Act. It says the honor shall be given to someone who is a Nigerian. And who is a Nigerian?
Highest
I'll come to all your points.
GCFR.
Yes, it's the same criteria. The president
is reserved for anybody occupying the office of the president.
My dear sir.
Yes, no.
My dear sir.
Yes, no.
I read the National Honors Act. It's not reserved. The president can confer on anyone. GCFR was given to, if I remember, was given to Chief Awolowo. He wasn't the president of Nigeria. Bai Shagari. The National Honors Act dates back to 1963. There were, 64, sorry. And there have been amendments since then. Everything the president has done is according to the National Honors Act, perfectly in order. He can award it to anyone. It doesn't say it has to be someone of this caliber or that caliber. And he can award it to anyone who is a Nigerian. If, as Dino Melaye wants us to believe, Abiola ceased to be a Nigerian, then maybe Dino Melaye himself is no longer a Nigerian because his grandfather is dead. And his grandfather is the proof that he himself is a Nigerian. Being a Nigerian is a continuous fact. It's your past and your future. My great-grandchildren are not going to stop being Nigerian just because I'm no longer alive. So let's forget about the pedantics. This was an excellent decision by the current president. We may not like him for many other reasons. Look, even a dead wristwatch will be correct twice a day. It will be correct in the morning and it will be correct at night, just for a minute, and then it will fall out again. These were two brilliant decisions by the president. The recognition of the June 12th as the really sensible, logical date for Democracy Day, as well as the granting of the GCFR to Abiola and a few others who he gave national merit honors. I'm sure you have distinctions to make later as to what each person got. So
Now,
I'll leave that for later.
So let me come to you, Lago. So looking at this issue as they are, he said it does appear that almost every Nigerian is born with a law qualification. Are we saying it is not important for us? Is this an attempt by the government to lure Nigerians, considering the emotional attachment the Southwest have with June 12th? Is this really a kind of a game the presidency is playing?
I think from my point of view, I know that I'm an analyst of politics, but in a way, there always is a game to it. In a way, there always is the ability of a government in power to divert the opinion of the masses in the way they want it, for a certain reason, for a certain time, or for a certain objective. It just seems too much of a coincidence. We're too close to the election time for the government out of nowhere to say, okay, in that case, we will remember somebody. Everyone has been aware, from Obasanjo to Yaradua to Goodluck, the efforts that MK Abiola made in putting his life on the line for what we are enjoying today back home, right? But the question is the timing. The question is the root behind the conferment of this award have the honesty and the truth that it really should in commemorating such an occasion? Now that is what we should ask ourselves. That the origin of what is happening right now, the meeting that took place for certain people to say, okay, it is high time that we did such things. I will never say that the award given to MK Abiola is undeserved, because I would be a liar and I would not be a student of Nigerian politics if I did not say that the award is meaningful, well-deserved, and long in the pipeline. But at the same time, you should also understand that Nigerian government have proven throughout history to almost enjoy, as they say, dribbling the populace. They've taken delight in diverting our attention from the key issues. And it always fast tracks. It always fast tracks around this period in time. When somebody needs a vote from a certain ethnic group, when somebody wants to get something from somebody, when something demands somebody, that's when the good things will start rolling in. You'll be seeing roads being built here. You will see titles being given out over here. And it always accelerates towards this period. Now, the coincidence to me is like, it is more than a coincidence. But at the same time, that's why you must look at it from a two-pronged approach. Must you do good to continue doing bad?
Let me quickly return to you before I come to... Okay, let me come to Barrister Sympathy. Barrister also, Alpha Begore, former Chief Justice of Nigeria, did criticize the posthumous honors on Buhari.
Yes.
Under the 1963 Act, said the government, the president, was wrong, that only soldiers could posthumously be awarded honor, not even to talk of the national honors in Nigeria. That seemed to have opened the floodgate of legal issues and, well, both for and against the president's action. But looking at this all together, people have actually said, if you're giving the man GCFR, why don't you take the next step by declaring the election formally?
Well, you and I know very well that
Let me round the question.
president,
What do you think the action is politically motivated? If the president is giving on us,
Whatever
acknowledging and recognizing Abiola without actually declaring that a formally acknowledged the result of that election?
even the dressing of a president can be seen to be politically motivated. So he's dressing on a daily basis. So conferring such an honor to a well-deserved man, a man who stood for freedom, human rights, right, cannot be criticized. What the legal luminary said, I read it, but like Larry said, Doctor, I went to the 1964 Act to see whether there's anything illegal about conferring that honor and using his discretion to say, well, June 12th every year should be observed as Democratic Day. I don't see anything wrong with that. So anybody can make any argument about it. Like he said, every Nigerian is a lawyer.
But is something wrong with the president not formally acknowledging?
Yes. Not acknowledging that particular result, Abiola being the winner, I do not know the rubrics of what happened. Professor Nwosu was then the INEC chairman, right? The reason given by the military regime then, Babangida, was because there were some improprieties associated with the result. So you and I were not INEC officials, so we wouldn't sit here and say yes.
But the government is privy at highest level.
Yes.
To know.
That's exactly my first answer I gave. That first account I gave, that one can infer, rightly so, that this government have seen what you and I haven't seen.
Okay.
Confer that on.
Let me put you on hold. Let's go on a very short break now. Let's go on a short break. When we return from that short break, we'll be continuing with the program. We're still here live on Ben Television, and we're looking at June 12th, today, June 12th, and national honors posthumously conferred on Abiola Gani Fahimi, and indeed in life to another person. We'll come back and don't go away. We'll give you the information that you need, from business to economy, to politics, to technology. And that's all we do here on Newspunch, from the beginning to the end. And that is why we are here. Keep watching Newspunch from Ben Television. And today, to economy, business, technology, the totality of what makes man